Yo, what's up, man? It's Reyes, and you're listening to The Rodriguez Show.
And we are back on The Rodriguez Show. Still got Courtney in the house. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Good.
Ready to talk some more.
Hey, we got some... So, we do this segment on the show called Serious Shit. We talk about serious shit. And that's why we decided to invite you on so we can talk about sex, right? And we got everybody. Reyes on the mic. We got Mondo, Carlos, and Yael can chime in too. And we're all going to have a discussion about sex. So first and foremost, my first question, I think a good one to start with is, do you think as a society we're progressing as people that can talk about sex freely?
Yeah, I think definitely the internet has helped with that.
Yeah.
Normalize talking about sex. And, everybody's going to have their boundaries pushed, but we definitely are seeing an increase in openness.
Yeah. What about you guys? Do you feel like...
I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't think it's... I think a lot of people are like with the whole conservative wave and like the Trump MAGA wave, a lot of people are like not putting enough time into sex ed. Mm-hmm. And our youth are getting dumber when it comes to like sexual aspects of life, and they're not aware of things because it's not put out there for them.
Well,
typically.
I think geography or wherever you live is going to dictate the information you have, right? There's people in
and your feed.
Yeah, right.
True.
Yeah, because
my feed is clouded with like consciousness and sexuality and all that. So
like overseas, like you see how like they're a lot more comfortable with like like sex scenes in movies. Yeah. But then when it comes to like bloody or like gory shit, like war and stuff, like it's not like they kind of like they're kind of more like ill to it. But over here, it's like all that gory, bloody stuff. Like we're cool with it. Like yeah. But all that like the sex scenes, it's kind of like more like it's more judged here. I feel. I don't know.
Simply put, when I was a kid, they let me watch horror movies, but if it had a sex scene in it, it'd be like
I had to cover my eyes.
Yeah,
I had to do this
exactly.
shit. Yeah. I never did it fully. You always
I'm still watching Unfaithful.
I watched long enough in order for me to get like, all right, clip. It's in my memory
for
now.
Later.
Use it later.
Before you had the internet password, right? Okay. My question. I wrote a few down. I don't know which one I was going to ask first, but like communication. How important is that with the sexual partner?
Communication's everything. And I think we think communication is just words, but it's also picking up on your feedback, your body signals, body language, right? Like if somebody's laying there and they're kind of stiff, or you notice like they're not breathing or they're not showing signs of enjoyment, then you have a chance to say something and check in with them.
Is it like right then and there, just like what's
and
what's
I think that's the thing is we think that's bad is to interrupt sex.
Yeah.
We have to keep it going once it's in motion. It's like a ball. You have to keep it rolling, but it's not true. We should be able to stop the ball anytime. And that's why a lot of us have really bad sex, because we didn't stop it and make it better to continue, and we just kept letting the bad shit go. Yeah. And then once you come, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now. But you could have had, if you stopped and talked about what was disconnected and not even had sex, you probably could have a lot more intimacy. Yeah. And I think that's what we're missing is the intimacy versus like sex with communication.
Yeah. I feel like there are ways too to like when you're in it, you don't have to be like, hey, let's stop. And you can still like ask in a sexy way in that moment.
Yeah, you're
not just like we good.
Yeah. Time out.
So Rudy 6, he commented, we put up a thing of like, we didn't talk about sex. What do you guys want us to talk about? And I thought this one was good. He said, a lot of greats in business, art, and other fields say abstaining from sex improves productivity. How distracting are people's sex drives and quests from, how distracting is it? Like the sex drive.
I think sex drive is distracting when it's considered a drive. Because sex is not a drive. You're not going to die if you don't have sex, right?
Yeah.
It's a desire. And it's also a distraction when we don't have any intention with that desire. So I think it comes down to, I want to have sex all the time, but why do I want to have it all the time? Usually it's something else. You want a distraction. You don't want to work. You want to get away from your feelings. So really thinking about your intention with it. But other than that, I think it's good to have sex at a healthy rate for you when you have fulfilling experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I can see that.
Now I have a question on that. As far as like relating to maybe like kids, let's say, as far as the youth, how do you see this like being shown to them now? You know how we talk about, let's say people are not conscious about it. Our kids nowadays are not educated enough.
Yeah.
As far as like maybe schools, or not even that, maybe ourselves as them showing them a certain way, should there be a certain limit? Should there be like,
Yeah, how open can we be with our kids, right?
That's a good question because I do have 6-year-old nieces who are probably more open than the regular 6-year-olds.
You said they were playing with the...
They were playing with my teaching tools. Like, you know what I told her too? She kept playing with it. She knows not to play with it. So I made her pick it up and go put it back right back where she got it from. That big gelatin dick thing and put it right back. Oh my God. And so for me, I think it's healthy to give information. Okay. Give information with the whys, because that's what we usually miss when we were kids is don't do that. We don't know why we don't do that. We just don't do it. Yeah. So we want to really give, okay, this is a boy part. And if they ask, like about actual sex, like where do babies come from? I'll tell you when you get older so you can understand it better. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, right? Because we have to think about, we are working with kids and they can't handle all the information that we have. Yeah. We've grown into this maturity and we've fucked up enough to need this information and now we know what to do with it. They're little kids. They don't need to know all this. Yeah. They need to know this is a boy part, this is a girl part, and there's more to look forward to as you grow older. Yeah. That's my opinion.
Because you don't want them to grow up too fast because then they can't handle that.
They don't need to know about that yet. They're nowhere near reproduction age. Yeah. So why the fuck are you going to introduce them to sex and distract them with this? Because it is a distraction, right? To us. Right. Like when we're in school, thinking about boys, thinking about girls, you don't want to think about anything else. Yeah. And so there's already going to be that because of what they see on the screens. Yeah. And so for me, it's important to really show them what matters. And it's self-empowerment. Do better for yourself. Mm-hmm. You dress for yourself. You look good. You feel good for yourself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's good because as long as they know that it's there and they're not confused by images that they see because they're gonna see it anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just you're aware of it, but when I get to that point, I'll know what that is.
Mm-hmm. And I'm here to explain it to you if you need it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What about you, Reyes?
All right. So my question would be, whether you're with your partner of a year or a month, or just you saw this girl or vice versa at the club tonight and you want to take them home, should you already have expectations? All right, let's just say if you're with the your significant other, all right, yesterday you made me come twice, so today you better make me come twice. Is that always an expectation, or with also with that type of person,
are you saying hookups?
No, yeah, with the hookup too also.
Okay, rephrase it.
Well, I think he's saying that if you... No, actually, I don't know what you're trying to say. What are you trying to say?
Saying, should you always have expectations, for the outcome of your sexual encounter, every single time?
You know that answer, though. Is it coming out of your mouth? You know the answer is no, right? Right. Always is an absolute, already fucked up. And expectations with sex is always going to set you up for disappointment because we don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. Your dick could not work when you want it to work the most, right?
But it seems like some people don't understand that shit, though.
So you're saying it to call it out. Got you.
He's like, hey, by the way, if you're
I think we should be. Sex should be open. It should be an open experience and exploration. Yeah. Curiosity. So if there's an expectation that's going to happen a certain way, no curiosity, it's already gone, which means lack of desire. Mm-hmm. And we need curiosity to be excited. Yeah. I think being open, no expectations, trying new shit is always good. Yeah. Talking during sex, I think is fun. And I think we miss out on that because we think it's awkward. But let's say you try something and the position's awkward and you have to, switch it up. It's funny. Right?
I always be saying stupid shit.
We're making jokes. So she's you're eating around. And she's like, oh, you're trying to bite my clit off or something? Because a lot of times that happens. And it's funny. Yeah, but it's it doesn't have to be oh, I'm doing it bad. Now I'm going to never eat pussy again. Yeah. So it's the way you do it. And also, if you have a genuine connection with somebody, you can talk to them comfortably. Yeah. And I think that we don't get to the genuine connection part before we have sex. And that's why we're just going through the motions of this awkward experience. Yeah. But if you genuinely are comfortable with them, you would be fine saying, slow down, or you came already, I didn't even come. Can you do something else? Yeah. So...
Yeah, just being open with that person. And that's something I want to elaborate on too, is the expectation thing, right? You had sex with somebody really well, and then the second time, they probably expect that. I think that's what he was trying to say, right? How do you deal with not being in your head? We're I gave it to you good the first time, now I got to do this again.
Performance anxiety?
Yeah.
Yep. That's for everybody. We all have have the same thing. I think that men forget that women also do it. So we both end up in this experience trying to outact each other and outperform each other. And like I said again, being open, being honest, no expectations. But yeah, we do that, and it's just a setup for disappointment. And then you're in your head. You're not actually feeling what's going on. You're in your head, like waiting for the shit to happen, like it happened last time.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just say like you're not satisfied the first time. Should you give it a shot the second time?
Yes.
Good.
Yes. Because especially when you like first meet somebody, what if you're nervous, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times like women get mad at men for like not performing the right time, for the right time. And I'm thinking like, it's the first time meeting you. So maybe they were nervous. Maybe it felt really good and they lost control, but give it a second go. I always say give it a second go if it was bad the first time, but if it's consistent and but you can always, I feel like there's always things to work towards as long as both people are willing.
If you're communicating with them.
It's that ego that usually stops us.
Yeah.
Like the woman will be like, oh, it's not good. So she, is not going to waste her time. Like, yeah. And the guy's just like, like he doesn't know what to do. So he doesn't even want to have sex a lot of times if he's already been rejected by a woman for lack of performance.
Yeah, like if I'd had a horrible performance, I would be like, oh, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, you're not gonna get me in there again.
Just one more
Back
chance.
on the horse.
Listen to this episode of the Rodriguez Show. You'll hear.
Got it?
Carlos, what do you think?
Late. Sorry. I was going to ask about porn. Does porn have a negative effect on the realities of sex?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good question too, just so we can talk about it. And I myself is a connoisseur of porn. I know all the corners, even the ones, I've never went into again, but I found them. But what it does is it gives us a representation of sex. And like I said in my last podcast, porn is entertainment sex. It's not real sex. And it's okay if we watch it, if we understand that it is that, but we don't. We watch it and we want to imitate it and we make relationships with it. Porn actually bonds with you in your brain. You create a relationship with it so that when you have sex, you are looking for that porn instead of being with the person that you're with. Yeah. So it actually changes your brain. So the only way that I say, watch porn is you're using it consciously as a tool to get your fire up, get your arousal up, but don't depend on it. Yeah. But yeah, usually it's something that we just like take in like profusely because it's free and it feels good. It's like dopamine hits like by the second. Yeah. And so, you have to think of it that way.
You should use imagination.
Oh my, that was one of my favorite episodes. Imagine.
I think you had one more, Carlos, right? Yeah, I think the theme that we've been having throughout this conversation is expectations, right? It's the expectations you see on TV or porn, whatever you're looking at. Yeah. And I think it's better just to get rid of that stuff. Just enjoy the moment, right?
Yeah, enjoy the moment. And a lot of times there's a disservice of porn, like because you see women treat a certain way in porn, a lot of people translate it to real life. And that roughness is not feel good to a regular person. And like I've had to call that out a few times, like what kind of jackrabbit shit are you doing right now? Like so I think that
but some people like that too though.
Some people like that, and let me talk about that for a minute, because the hard sex, I like rough sex when you work your way up to it. It's like a sprint, right? A race. You don't just sprint, you warm up and you work your way up to the quick part. But just right off pounding in sex usually is a sign of not feeling a lot. Like if you're like numb, you're in your head, you're not in your body. It takes a lot of force to get through, right? To feel something. And so a lot of times if we start to, reconnect with ourselves, then we'll learn that we actually can like get more sensation, more pleasure from less impact and force.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I don't want to elaborate too much on that, but I do have that experience of like, oh, I'm in my head, I'm going to go faster and harder because I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was actually listening to Kids today by Mac Miller. So the song Senior Skip Day, at the end there's like these girls and it's like a little skit and they're like, so what's like the difference between like making love, having sex, and like fucking, like how does a person know, like, because like some people like they're just having sex and like they'll have a partner but they're not sure they're making love, like how do you know like you're making love, like that spiritual connection with the person? Like how do you?
I think that because you feel it and there's nothing else like it. Like it's like your soul is having an orgasm. And I think that's the big difference. You can have an orgasm from your penis with sex. Yeah. But when you're making love, I think your whole spirit expands and orgasms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fucking is like sports sex to me. Yeah. Fucking sports sex. That's the difference. Yeah. Which is good still. You know, it has good stuff. But yeah, that's the difference to me.
Yeah, I was about to run out of the studio like, I'm ready. Let's go. I'm going to go make love, guys.
Right? I'm ready too. Like, every time I talk about stuff like that, I'm just like, I have to go. Like, go into my black book.
Okay, Carlos, last one, right?
No, I mean, all my questions have been pretty much answered. We touched on all bases here.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you, Courtney, for being here.
My pleasure. I'm glad you guys want to talk about sex.
Yeah, and I hope that this discussion, because we have a lot of guys that listen to this, it makes people feel more open about it, you know?
Yeah.
I think that was our goal with this whole thing, was to make people feel more comfortable
Talk about it, you make it seem normal, more people see it, and they do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, follow Courtney at Tantra with Courtney on Instagram. We'll post a link to that in the description of the episode. And absolutetantra.com is the website. You can get tickets to the Tantra Revolution Retreat.
Yes.
That last word is hard.
Retreat. I know. That's probably the easiest part of that whole title.
Yeah. April 26th to the 29th. And thank you.
It's in Los Angeles.
LA.
It's local.
It's really local.
No planes necessary.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And let's play some more music, Mondo. And we got our another special guest after this. Let's get it.